yet. So you have the Aerithil, big question mark here. Obviously, Lemon, it's in the hands of Lemon, right? So we're probably going to see that. But also, they solidify that with that Sicilian pick and the scaling potential there. So IDNS, their last pick is going to be this Esmeralda. I think it's about as safe as you can be for the side lane.
Yeah, I think the side lanes are really, really safe here. And if we're talking about scaling, I mean, we don't really need to see it, but we just know it for a fact that this Aerithil will hard carry games if she has enough items in her arsenal. I think this is still going to be I mean, considering that RRQ is playing a very safe, pacifist way of the game, IDNS, it's up to them to really press the agenda here.
I do agree with you there, and it does make me a little sad that we're not seeing the same kind of aggressive lineup that won them their game against Omega, but hopefully this is going to be the transformation they need to take down the Indonesian Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, the Land of Dawn welcomes us once more to bear witness to the battle between RRQ Hoshi playing on the blue side and IDNS playing on the red side.
So it starts in the jungle, right? That's why we typically look at those matchups too. Albert on the Ling, right? Like you mentioned, very comfortable here. And then Aloy's on this Karina. I feel like that's also just kind of matching up against that threat of Albert. So, you know, Zanri trying to do the best there, but there's not much you can do. And I just feel like this is a lot of safety from IDNS. Yeah,
Aloy's, he's going to be walking out for free. That's the beauty of Karina this time round. And again, that's when you see Hilda being annoying. It always forces the enemy jungler to use their retribution early, guarantees that they don't pick up the Little Wanderer, and then can just walk back into base. And when you have someone like Karina walking into your enemy jungle, you can still be that frustrating invade style tank.
Yep, so that's already a pretty good start for IDNS, having the Hilda just delay Albert for as long as possible, allowing Lois to steal away his orange buff. And because of that, Lois is going to be able to have access to 3 buffs, giving him a slight level advantage here in the early game.
Yeah, and again, this is the best thing. This is probably just comfort for IDNS to just last out here. You got to give it up to Zanri because I feel like, you know, comparing it to that Selena last game, Zanri's actually able to play the way that he wants to play here, especially that kind of annoyance. You know, that's what he does so well in Natalia, and now he gets to do it on the Hilda.
Oh, that's a little sad. That's a little sad because I'm pretty sure Vin had his Guiding Winds on cooldown and Lemon was kind of forced to use his sprint on a very valuable spell at this stage of the game for now. But let's see. Now that IDNS knows for a fact that Lemon doesn't have it, are they going to continue to play around this side of the map, or are they going to divide their resources?
What we know for sure is that Zanri has been quite effective so far, but now being caught out, able to run away with the sprint. Turtle going to be contested. Real world manipulation catching out Clay, but it's not enough as now the heavy spin gonna cancel it out. But it's gonna be the Esmeralda Sun getting that first blood there. Clay being picked off on the side.
Big pickup there. I mean, that's a great play and an option here for IDNS because now they can convert that into a turtle. So this is a huge start for IDNS. Again, this is exactly what they need to do. Just be a little more comfortable here going against RRQ.
Yep, it's tempo. It's all about these tempo plays. That's all you want to see here. R7 rotating from that bottom side just to make sure that Lois doesn't steal another camp from his jungler.
Right now, we can see that RRQ Hoshi are definitely quite wary of IDNS Esports, and that's exactly what they want to achieve with this composition. Having the Hilda and the Karina means that they will hit their power spike much earlier on, and hopefully buy enough time for Sun and IZ to be able to scale up. But we already see that RRQ Hoshi are able to farm up very quickly as well. As we see here though, heavy spin being used on Sun. Albert chasing him down. No mana left on the Esmeralda. And that means he's not going to escape from Clay.
So nice pick off there to even it out here in the score. Again, it's still pretty even in the gold in terms of everything else. So right now, pretty steady, right? But it's not just completely going to be one-sided, even though we're 3.5 minutes in here. I feel like either way, they can continue. IDNS should continue to follow around Zanri. And now some action top lane, our bottom lane.
Yeah, they're not going to be... R7 isn't dying anytime soon. His high base stats makes it really difficult for Lois to commit to this kill. Lois, what? You just bought a Wind Talker.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is that normal?
Not really. Usually they start going full tank, or they just opt to go for just...
That's strange.
That's a bit mind-boggling here. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like I saw 3 Wind Talkers pop up on the
Right?
screen, though,
Yeah,
like in the
that's-
past like 30 seconds.
But hold on, though, a fight already beginning. Circling Eagle being used by Vin to keep IDNS in place. I think Lois was able to take the... Nope, Albert was able to secure it after all of that. No casualties on either side, so that's a pretty even trade overall. But we're already seeing RRQ match up and even surpass IDNS in terms of farm, despite this early pressure.
They're gonna need to find some kind of... Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
there's the
What?
potential.
There it is.
What a okay, all right, fair enough. That was a trade. That I wasn't expecting that much damage coming out of him, but they find Lois and now he's pinned.
Heavy spin, gonna be able to lock down the Karina, and now no retry on IDNS means that Albert gets the turtle for free. Angelina now gonna be the next target. Albert chases him down. Double kill going to the Ling. Sun now the next target, 1v4. Xanri can only watch in terror, but Esmeralda actually able to escape thanks to that sprint. So only 2 kills going over to RRQ.
So this is the start, right? This is the start where they build that lead. Once again, what we saw before, it's a 2K gold lead now. But the one thing that IDNS does always have here, Gideon favorite, the Wan, right? Then nothing has really happened yet. I mean, for Izzy here, he's been able to just go ahead and farm up, and he is protected quite a bit by Xanri too. So if he can continue to kind of follow up with that, that might be the best case scenario, even forcing a flicker out here from Vin.
This is some scary stuff because, again, he's already got that proc on towards Vin's side, but then it's a little too late. He's going to have to build it all up all over again, and that's the problem, right? It's all about making sure you can manage those weakness points.
Oh no, a flicker from R7, gonna be able to push Lois back into his team. Real manipulation, gonna keep him alive for now as they trade him for R7. But here comes Albert, he has his eyes on Izzy, gonna catch off the 1-1. And the massive damage from Lemon, double kill to the Irritel. Even Xanri not safe, Hilda having to make a quick retreat.
So that's the damage potential already, you know, from Irithel, 6 minutes in. And it looked like for a second that IDNS would actually come out a little bit on top of that team fight, and then just the response from RRQ Hoshi, I mean, this is showing just how much communication is going through them.
Yeah, it totally does, and I think it's a little sad for Izzy in particular because he was trying to find enough procs to allow him to get his ult off in time, but I don't know, there was a weird moment in the brush where he kind of just stopped moving for a second, and I guess that's why this in-game pause is going to be coming out. But yeah, when you have a marksman with sprint, rotating back in towards these fights is rather crazy, and especially for Irithel, she's just zooming through this fight.
Yeah, I think one thing we have to point out is why exactly is Irritel doing so much more damage in the hands of RRQ as compared to when IDNS were playing it. One thing to note is that Irritel is meant to be more of a lane dominator nowadays. Yes, she farms up real strong in the late game, but she's also strong in the first few minutes. For that reason, she's more of a momentum-based marksman. She needs to win lane to be effective. In this game, he was Lemon going up against a 1-1, which Irritel definitely wins that out. But in the previous game, IDNS were playing it against the Clint, which is able to burst down damage in lane much more effectively, and that is why Irritel now is going to be much more farmed as compared to when we saw IDNS playing the hero.
I just feel like, too, you know, Irithel being able to just kind of, it's almost like just point and click and just a bunch of damage, right? Whereas 1-1, you kind of need to get your positioning on top and then, you know, obviously get the weak points and then get the crossbow of Tang off. So this is what we're seeing. He's already 2-0 on this Irithel, and it's just going to, it looks like that way. It's just going to go ahead and continuously scale very well in the favor of RRQ Hoshi.
That's why I always make the comparison of Irithel and as well as Mia whenever we see it here in MPL MY, right? It's all about just walking up, getting your items, and then just point and click. There's not much thinking to it other than if somebody has vengeance so you don't accidentally kill yourself. But other than that, yeah, it's just scale quick. And now that you have this lane dominator style of Irithel, just live and let your team do the rest.
What I'm wondering now is whether or not Irritel will actually be considered a solid lane counter to the 1-1, because usually 1-1, although she's weak in the early lane, can usually farm up quite comfortably because of her passive, allowing her to just out-mobility other marksmen. That's not the case for Irritel. Lemon definitely going to be able to chase down Izzy no matter where he goes, and that's where the lane dominance really starts to set in.
Yeah, they got to be careful of the next decisions that they make because the next big objective is going to be Lord, right? And you can see both teams trying to find an opportunity around the map to actually, hopefully, even get those tier 1 turrets in the mid lane because those are going to be very crucial as the next Lord comes up in about a minute.
As they rotate around the mid lane so far, it's a small 4K lead for RRQ Hoshi so far. And I think the IDNS, they're starting to lose that momentum now. They're forced to play a little bit back, and RRQ Hoshi just has control of the tempo.
It's even Vin just perfectly comfortable with walking up right next to Zanari and saying hello. He knows that even as a Matilda, IDNS right now are far behind enough that they're not going to have enough damage to burst him down, and if they use up their cooldowns, that is go time for the rest of his team.
Albert currently with the highest damage, with Lemon just shortly behind him so early on in this game here. And I think IDNS need to make a decision on which side of the map they want to play for. They can't just keep playing responsively to RRQ. They need to start fighting for some space and time. RRQ Hoshi, on the other hand, very clearly want to play for this top side, knowing that Lord is there. So IDNS, either they have two choices. Either they rotate early on, which Esmeralda is doing, or they could have set up for bot wave and then made a move.
I think right now, both teams just want to come here for this Lord. It is, again, only the first one in the game. It's a regular Lord, but they don't want to give it up just freely, right? Because at this point, would you say that IDNS can actually still go in a team fight against RRQ Hoshi? Are they just outclassed right now?
It's going to be quite difficult for them, but I guess we will find out. Albert already taking down the Lord to half HP, but they're actually going to make the choice to completely separate because they see Sun is by himself. Quick decision by RRQ as now they take down the mid tower. They're coming back in full force. IZ taking a lot of damage from Lemon. Almost gets the crossbow, not quite enough. As now Albert comes in, going to be able to secure the Lord very easily. Picking up Lois along the way. Now wants to go on Zanri, but doesn't have enough energy to follow up on the Hilda. They've already done enough.
You see what I mean? The Irithyll being able to pop sprint, freely shoot, and move at the same time is just, it's such a strong component, or I mean, it's such a strong, unique thing about that hero. And we're seeing it here now for Lemon, right? We didn't get to actually see it work very well last game. So they're making that work, and I feel like a lot of this just, it's because of the rest of the team, right? Irithyll, most marksmen, you need the rest of your team. You have to count on them to get to this point.
I think, yeah, no, they definitely do. But just look at that damage, right? Consistent shots coming out from RRQ Hoshi with an 8.5k lead, 10 minutes of the game. It's just a repeat of game number 1. They are just playing so very clean right now. R7
in the backline with the flicker. Heavy spin pushing Zanri completely out of position. A mega kill going over to Irithyll as the Tempest Blades comes out in the backline, doing massive damage. Double kill going over to Lemon. The heavy crossbow taking victims. And now with the Lord pushing in top lane. Normally, first Lord of the game, you don't think it's much of a threat. But right now, RRQ Hoshi are threatening to end the game with this single objective, taking top and mid inhibitor. 3 members of IDNS currently alive. Gonna focus their efforts on defending against the Lord, but they also have 5 members of RRQ to deal with as well. The choice now going to be made. Will RRQ try to look for a fight here? Lord is already down. Here comes Lemon. Heavy crossbow. 2 shots is all it takes to take down the 1-1. Take down the Hilda. Double kill going over to Lemon. Triple kill going over to Irithyll.
Give it to him!
Able to find one more, but that goes over to Albert. So no maniac here. But the game is basically over. RRQ Hoshi secured a 2-0 victory against IDNS Esports.
Man, we saw it. That was, again, just the burst damage potential of an Irithyll pick. It was, what, maybe 12, 13k gold lead by the end, and it's crazy to think because IDNS had actually a good position for that game, and it just fell out through their fingers.
Yeah, I mean, some good plays overall being made coming in from RRQ, and that's the thing. They know how to kind of shift that tempo really